Good morning. Good
Good
morning. How are you?
morning. Good morning.
Hey, Dorothea.
Ready to get
Hey,
started. So this is actually being recorded on YouTube as well as pre-recorded for the cloud. And I want to say, oh, I forgot this one. So what y'all can do is if you want to go live on your Facebook or whatever device you have, you can. Everybody will get 10 minutes to talk about what it is that they do and how they can help other women that have experienced the same thing that you have experienced, what you did to overcome it. So everybody out there in audio land, welcome to I Am My Sister's Keeper. I am Carolyn, the narrator of I Am My Sister's Keeper, and Miss Jacqueline Levy is the host of I Am My Sister's Keeper. And Jackie, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you, guys. Is my voice audible, guys? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, Jackie.
Oh, good. Good morning, guys. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know I suffered a loss in my family last week, but nevertheless, I am here. And thank you again for this platform, Carolyn, and thank you guys for participating and being so diligent about it. So let's get started. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So glad you're here. I am Jacqueline Levy, your parent advocate, and I am my sister's keeper. In observance of National Mental Health Awareness Month, I am elated to be coming together with these dynamic ladies. These ladies has proven time and time and time again that they are willing, capable, and most of all driven to be of maximum support to their family and also to their community. I am an author and I'm a parent advocate. My mission in this cycle of my life is to support parents of kids with severe and physical disabilities. Why? Because I've raised a daughter with one of the, if not the most challenging mental illness known to man. Childhood schizophrenia. I've raised the daughter, guys, with childhood schizophrenia, pardon me. So I'm aware of how secluded and isolating raising a disabled child can be. On this platform, we have sisters who has suffered adversities in their life, be it childhood or adulthood. Now we're using our voices and experiences to help others. So if you're the parent of a disabled child and you're feeling like you and your family is the only family in the world living with the challenges of raising and educating a disabled child, I can promise you, you're not. If you're in need of a little support from a parent who has been there, I would like for you to connect with me on social media sites. Look for Jacqueline Levy, your parent advocate, or go to my website. I have some simple resources there, www.yourparentadvocate.com. And like I said, if you don't remember my name, or if you don't remember what I do, just remember my mission. My mission in life, in this cycle of my life, because I don't know if you ladies are aware of it, we ladies have 4 cycles in our lifehood. So in this cycle of my life, I am dedicating my life to supporting parents with children with severe disabilities, because I know when I was raising my child and educating my child, as I said, it was a very bumpy road. With that being said, guys, have a great day. Thanks for watching, like and share, and God bless you all. And I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. I will be coming back to our host, Jackie, after you have heard all of our queens and their stories and how they can help you with yours. So next up is Miss Sharaya. So Miss Sharaya, you have the mic. Step on in, lady.
Thank you so much, Carolyn and Jackie. I appreciate you
providing me with this opportunity to share my story and the work that I do. As you stated, my name is Sharia Schultz, and I am the founder of an organization called Buddy Speaks. Buddy Speaks is a foundation, it's a nonprofit organization which provides education to help prevent and end childhood sexual abuse. My goal is to change the way people think, respond, and support survivors. So then we talk about my why. Why did I do this? Okay, so I'll share my story with me. I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I was abused at the age of, I want to say, 8 years old, between the ages of 8 and 10 years old, and it was by a family member, someone that we know and trust and love. As we know, with survivors of childhood sexual abuse, 90% of victims, survivors, they know the person, because we don't just let anyone around our children. It's always someone that we trust. It's always someone that we know. It's usually a mother, a father, a cousin, a preacher, an imam if you're a Muslim, a teacher, a grandparent, a babysitter. So that's the reality. The statistic says 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls would experience some form of childhood sexual abuse before the age of 18. We talk about anniversaries, right? I know all of you love anniversaries. We all have anniversaries, and they're usually happy times. Birthdays, you have anniversaries, graduations, wedding anniversaries, anniversaries of when you bought your first car. Those dates are so amazing. Those dates are so awesome. I have an anniversary, and it ties into my why. So on January the 5th, 2016, my child, tender age of 9, opened up and shared with me that he was being sexually abused by someone that we knew, that we loved, and that we trusted. So let me just take you back a little minute if I can. Imagine a little boy, 4 years old, and a little girl, 5 years old, living in a home with their mother, and her mother lived in Dubai, and we needed a nanny because I was a single mother at the time. And there's so many single mothers out here. And my nanny, she had to be the perfect nanny. I interviewed her, and I said, I have to make sure that she's safe. I have to make sure we have the same faith base, because she knows, she knows and understands our lifestyle as far as being a Muslim, our lifestyle as far as, fornication, as far as, hurting a child. She has to be able to speak proper English. She was from the Philippines. And she lived with us, and she called me mama. I called her daughter, and we loved and trusted her so much. And what was going on? When I was gone and she was alone with my child, she was physically, sexually, and emotionally abusing my son, a grown woman, age 29, 30 years old. My son, he had, he showed signs that there was trouble, but I was treating the signs medically. He's stuttering. Let's go to the stuttering clinic. He has dyslexia, his education, he can't stay focused. I'm going to take him to a specialist. He's not passing he's not he's not potty trained. He's 4 years old. He's 5 years old. He's pooping on himself, or he's holding his bowels. Okay, I'm going to take him to have a SITS test. I'm going to take him to the doctors to check his bowels, the gastro doctors. And I talk to my children about sexual abuse. Did anyone touch you? Please, you can tell mommy. No, mommy, no. Did anyone touch you? No, mommy, no. So on January, we moved back to America. My son had a trigger. He was in school. The principal came into the bathroom and said, hurry up, get back to class. You'll be great. My son was using the urinal. That triggered him. Oh my gosh, danger. From that point on, he wouldn't go to school in the bathroom. Son. So I would pick him up from school, and he said, Mom, can you take me to Burger King so I can go to the bathroom? No, son, you can go in school. No, I don't want to. Okay, second day. He goes into the school bathroom after school, but he's with a friend. Third day, Mom, take me to the supermarket so I can go to the bathroom. Hurry, hurry. Son, did something happen to you that makes you not want to go to the bathroom? Yes, Mommy. Can I tell you in private when we get home? You can imagine that was the longest drive home I ever had. So we were sitting down eating breakfast, and he said, Mommy, I'm ready to tell you now. I said, sure. He said, can I tell you in private? Absolutely. So in private, we went into the bedroom and we sat on the edge of the bed, and he said, Mommy, I forgot. And he was pulling on his clothes and he wouldn't give me eye contact. And I said, Bud, because at that point I knew it was something. But I thought perhaps someone hurt him inside the bathroom at school. And I said, Bud, whatever happened to you, it's okay. Mommy loves you and you're safe. And I'll never be angry with you. And I believe you. And it's not your fault. So you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. Because I knew by this point, somebody hurt my son. Someone touched my son. But I thought it was the boys in the bathroom because he was avoiding the bathroom. And he said, Mommy, I was scared to go to the bathroom in school because I didn't want anyone to hurt me and touch me in my private part. Naima touched me in my penis and it hurt. And at that point, life changed for me. And I hugged him and I told him that it wasn't his fault and that I believed him and that I'm going to give him some help. And I said, now you go ahead and you take a shower because I needed to go cry. And I closed the bathroom door. I had a bathroom in my bedroom. And I cried because this was someone that I knew, that I loved, that I trusted, that lived in my house for 3 years. Okay, what's the big deal? She's a woman, he's a boy, opposite sex. What's the big deal? How can a grown woman really rape a little boy? So what happened after that? Triggers and memories every day. Every day there's a memory of what she did. Driving to school, screaming and yelling because he's reliving all of that trauma. He's reliving the days that she put his private part in her mouth and he bit it. The days that she threatened to kill him and make him watch her kill me. The days of saying, if you tell, I'm going to put poison in your orange juice and make you drink it. The days of, if you tell, I'm going to make you watch me kill your mother and then kill your sister and then kill you and run away and the police will never get me. The days of, if you tell, an assassin is going to kill you. Even up until today, now my son is 13 years old. And if it's dark, he will not go outside alone. If there's a car at the stop sign at the corner of our house, he's afraid those are the assassins. The assassins are going to come and get me. And the triggers kept coming. And the memories kept coming of all the terrible things that happened. And I'm a bad person. And then one day he sat and he said, Mom, can you give me he just stared into space all weekend. He sat on the sofa and he said, Mom, can you give me a party? Sure, bud. Can you invite over? And he had mentioned his friends. Absolutely. He said, and can we, and he named everything he wanted. And he had this big smile on his face like this. But he was staring up. And he said, he started asking questions. What will happen if a boy stabs someone in the heart? Will they go to jail? What will happen if blood rushes out of your heart? Will you die? What happens when you go to the grave? And, he's 9 years old. So he's asking all of these questions. And I'm saying, then he said, Mom, I want to have this party because after the party, I'm going to go in the bathroom and I'm going to take the knife that's in the kitchen right there and I'm going to kill myself. And that way, I don't have to have those memories anymore. I don't have to be scared anymore. And I hugged him and I told him that he was safe. And I told him that it wasn't his fault and I loved him And he said, I love you too. And then my family gave him a group hug and we said, we need him. And he said, you'll be okay. Just look at the pictures. And the memories kept coming over and over again. And he had to go into a facility to get help with learning how to cope with his trauma. And I'm a mother, and I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. So that was a big nightmare for me. How can I tell that I felt my son? I didn't protect my child. And then when I went and shared my story with people that were the closest to me, that I loved, they said that I had malchosen syndrome. They said that I just wanted attention. They said there's no way that a 5-year-old boy could remember such details. They said, oh, he just plays with his game too much. She didn't say she was going to kill him because he wouldn't come out and just say she's going to stab me. He would start screaming and yelling. And then I carried a journal wherever we went. And I would say, son, what happened? What made you feel? Because I didn't want to say, why did you do that? Never ask why. Because that makes a survivor feel guilty. Like they have to explain what happened, why they did. So I said, what happened that made you feel that way? Because he didn't have the vocabulary at the time. So he would draw a picture. And that's how he told his story. And I didn't have any support. I didn't have any support at all. And I felt so alone. And I felt so ashamed that this woman that I brought into my house, that I took care of like a daughter, that she was raping my son. She was walking past my bedroom and going into his bedroom in the middle of the night. And she was putting knives up to his throat. And she was beating him. And she was making him do all kind of unthinkable things. And sharing pornography and taking pictures of him. And I missed all of that. How did I not know how to protect my son? Why couldn't I protect my son? I thought I knew how, because I'm a survivor. So after that, I decided it's time for me to help other parents, because I was all alone without any support. I didn't have any support because the people that I trusted, they told me I was a liar. And I wanted to educate other parents, because this is a real life statistic that happens. And 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls, that's only those who have told. Think about all the children who didn't tell. Think about all the stories, the countless stories of children who attempted suicide, who self-harmed. Imagine your child cutting their arm because they want the memories to go away. Imagine your child getting body piercings, hundreds of body piercings. Imagine your child turning to drugs and alcohol. Imagine your child becoming extremely promiscuous. Imagine your child suddenly dropping, their grades in school are dropping, or they're becoming extremely perfect, have this perfect behavior so you won't abuse me. Or your child questioning their sexuality because I've been raped by a woman and I've been raped by a man, so maybe I'm gay, or maybe I'm crazy.
Ray, got 2 minutes.
At 9 years old. So I created my foundation. And my foundation, I am bringing education to help other parents, because it is the job of parents to protect their children from being sexually abused. So my foundation is the Buddy Speaks Foundation. And I have a website, and it's called www.buddyspeaks.life, where you can find more information to help parents that are like me, to help help parents to support their children, to help protect your children from sexual abuse, and to be able to know how to support others. Because this statistic is real, but I do know prevention is possible through education and through awareness.
Thank you, Sharaya. I appreciate you sharing your story. There are a lot of women who are going through the same thing that you're going through. And it doesn't matter whether it's the opposite sex or not, or the same sex. I know of situations where there was a little boy that was no more than, I'm gonna say about 8 months old. And there was a man that did unspeakable things to him. So thank you for creating the organization that you created to help other parents and guardians that are going through similar or alike situations that you're going through. Thank you, sister, for sharing your story. I am my sister's keeper. Next up, we have Miss Dorothea Robinson. You now have the mic, Queen.
Hello, how is everybody doing on today? I thank you so super much for this opportunity because it's so super needed. My name is Dorothea Robinson, and I am my sister's keeper. It's important that we understand that our stories, what we carry deep within us, will lend to lead to somebody else's freedom. See, 3 or 4 years ago, I was told, you need to write a book because your story is going to save somebody else's life. Well, I thought, well, you know, that's good. Maybe they're trying to be nice. And it was another sister. But I never took too much to go into writing and finding out what I need to write. And it was just my story that belonged to me. The second year, different venue, different sister, same words. And I thought, well, there may be some truth in that, that my story, if I share it verbally, that they may get something from it and move on and get free somehow in their own particular right. The third year, while developing Life After Domestic Violence, where I assist women who are in intimate partner abusive relationships to get free, did I learn that because I shared my story, because I put it in a book, because I wasn't afraid anymore, did those statements come back to me in my face? See, the victim for whom it is that I was making sure that the safety plan that I developed worked for her, and it did. The thing about it, in her particular case, I was moving her across the country like chess pieces to get away from her abuser. It was within hours that if we did not move as quickly as we did, she would have died. So you see, the words that had been said to me that had been planted by sisters to say that your story is important because it's going to free somebody. After I got her to safety, she said, Miss Thea, if it wasn't for your story, I would be dead. And it was true. What stories are you holding back that you're afraid to share because you believe that it belongs to you? Now, rightly so. Everybody is not an author. Everybody is not a speaker. Everybody doesn't do what the sisters that you will see here later on in this particular program. You won't see everybody doing the same thing. See, I believe that everybody here on this panel right here are advocates. I am an advocate of women, for women who have been abused. I have created the person that I am now because I was abused. For 30 years, I stayed in a marriage, married my high school sweetheart, had 6 children, adopted 4 of them, had 2 biologically, until the turning point for me was when I was threatened with a gun in front of my children in the kitchen. And on that day, one of us was going to die. Either it was me killing my high school sweetheart or he killing me. At that point, I made the decision, this is it. And unfortunately, in too many stories where I assist women, both nationally and internationally, do I find that it takes a turning point to the point where you're losing your life, that you make the decision that I'm out. It takes usually, normally, 7 times before a woman will actually leave her abuser. I am where I am right now, assisting these women. I have become and developed the person that I would have wanted walking next to me 10 years ago. So through that, I have learned how to write exit plans. I have learned how to be able to talk to different women and let them know that you're not alone, that you're not crazy, and that your decision to leave, I understand where you are. You're on the fence. You're not quite sure whether or not you're going to stay. You're not quite sure you're going to leave because of the unknown. We're fearful. That's why programs and broadcasts such as this is so super important, because you get to hear and you get to see what other sisters go through. You don't have to be ashamed because you're in a domestic violence relationship. The point of the matter is, the longer you stay in a domestic violent relationship or intimate partner abusive relationship, the more at risk you are for death. And with the climate of the C virus and the climate of the quarantine, 40% in every state, not some, every state, the uptick of reports about domestic violence situations. Unfortunately, we are seeing more and more and more in the viewing that we do see, people are dying. I also need you to understand that this is not a poor part of the country's issue. This is not the ghettos of the United States. It's not. We find all over the world in every class, domestic violence and intimate partner abuse is rampant. But I'm here to say today that if you want out, you can get out. It starts in the mind. You have to free yourself in your mind. It doesn't start with, oh, I'm going to go, pack your bag, or if you decide to pack a bag and just go. More than likely, you're going to return because of the unknown. It starts in your mind. We have to understand what domestic violence is and what intimate partner abuse is. And as we heard earlier from Sheree, the problems, the issues that happen, your children are affected. Your children watch what goes on in the house. It's said that when children have watched abuse going on in the house, that they in turn become abusers or they in turn become abused. This is not a doom and gloom type of message that I want to give. I want to share with you that if it's not me, if it's not one of these ladies for whom it is that you will be listening to later on, if it's not one of us, let it be someone. It starts with listening. Listening to that person who shares with you, this is what's going on. And it starts with understanding for whom it is that I can trust my life with when I pour out everything that's going on. So this is what I want to leave you today. I would just want to make sure and be respectful of my time. There is hope. Whatever your situation may be, if it is domestic violence, if it is intimate partner abuse, whatever your situation may be, there is hope. Never give up hope. That's the only thing that we all have. Once we give up hope, there's nothing else. I don't care how big of your hope that you hold on to, whether it be the size of a tree trunk or whether it be the size of a mustard seed, never give up your hope. There is a way out. If it's not anyone on this panel, please reach out. Your life is precious. You are worthy of living the life that you are called to live. I don't care if you are a lemon meringue pie baker, and I don't understand why I like lemon meringue pies. That sticks in my head. You make the best lemon meringue pie. That is your purpose, because you're going to put a smile on somebody's face. You never know. Your purpose may to bake that pie that gives the last wishes of a dying person who wants lemon meringue pie. You're here with a calling. Don't let your voice be shrouded by abuse. You are worthy. You are worthy. So for those of you, and I know this is big, and I normally give out the national hotline for domestic violence. That's a big jump. I get it. I was there. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to any one of these ladies. But the point of the matter is to reach out. So if I may, Queen, I would like to leave a link.
Of
just
course.
for a conversation. That's it.
Of course.
I am an excellent listener. An excellent listener. And it starts for a victim always, she wants, or he, because as we heard, men are abused as well. It starts with they just want to be believed. That's it. That I'm not crazy. That there's nothing wrong with me. I will listen and I will believe you. If you go to bit.ly/talk with Thea, it's just a conversation. I can offer so many of the things that I do. I am a life coach. I am a professional speaker. I, have some other programmings, but my intent here today is to have a conversation if you need it. So again, I want to thank you so super much for this opportunity. I don't take this lightly. I sit here amongst sisters for whom it is that I love dearly. And I want you all to know that we are here to share with you that we're here because we are your sister's keepers. We have an obligation to you. So thank you so super much, Queen. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Thea, for sharing your story. And ladies, queens, we're gonna, after everybody have shared their story, I'm gonna take it back to Sharaya. And when I take it back to Sharaya, I want you to reiterate your contact information, your website, your link, your phone number, wherever you have with your associations where people can get in contact with you that can relate to your story. Okay, everybody agree? Okay, next we have up Miss Michelle. Miss Michelle, you have the mic.
Thank you so much. I too am honored to be here amongst these beautiful queens. I do not take this lightly today. This is amazing, this platform, especially during this time when we know people are locked down in homes during this quarantine time, while America says stay home, stay safe. That's not the case for those who are going through domestic abuse and child abuse. And so I am Lady Michelle Austin. I am the founder of Heal and Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit. And that was important to me to name it that. And I prayed about it. And it was important to me because it was about healing from the inside out and then rebuilding your life. And then we know that abusers try to break your spirit. They do break your spirit down. And so it was about making women, men, and children feel that they know their spirit is unbreakable. And so my story is I am a survivor of child abuse. My abuse started from the womb. And it went on. My abuser was my mother. And so it was very hard for me to talk about that as I got older because we never want to talk about our moms like she's mom. She takes care of us, right? And so we never want to talk about the things that mom did, but she was very abusive. My father, who was a police officer, this is how his abuse came into the play, was he just didn't do anything. So the neglect. And because the two of them were at war with one another, I became a casualty of that war. And so growing up in this home, and as we know, when we're children, we grow up, we continue to grow because that's just a life cycle. But I was trapped in that time of trauma. And so I wasn't really developing the way I should in terms of, I was mishandled, I was rejected, I was abandoned, all of those things. And I felt I needed validation to grow, to feel loved. And so doing all of that, I learned how to develop all these different masks. And I began to create these masks. And so I would go through life and I would create a mask for different phases of my life. And I thought I was doing okay. I thought I was coping, right? But I was really doing a lot of disservice to myself. And so, my parents were functioning alcoholics. So I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to be an alcoholic because I'm not like them. I will just take prescription drugs because I can control that, right? And so I began to do these things and damaging myself. And so it was important to me to help others to not have to go through what I went through. And one of the things that is important for Heal and Rebuild is I want to not only help the victims and the survivors, but we challenge the community. We educate the community. We educate the households of faith. We educate the employers. We educate the family and friends. Why? Because it's not enough just to educate her and get her away from it, and then she goes into these places and is re-traumatized because these folks don't know how to treat her or treat her child, or even the man who finally decides that he wants to come forward and he's re-traumatized because of the abuse that he went through, right? And so that is a part of what Heal and Rebuild does. We are a resource hub. And so that was another part that was important for me, to be a resource hub, because I remember leaving my ex-husband and you have to go this place and that place, and you have to get this done, and you have to go across town for this. And so having that resource hub, she can get all of the things that she needs. And we we network with police officers, so she can have that first responder there. She can talk to someone that represents the detective's office. We have someone on our board who is an RN who deals with women's health. And so we try to have everything there, clinicians, therapists, things that she can find right here when she comes to Heal and Rebuild. And so those were the things that really stood out to me when I was creating this nonprofit organization, that I really wanted to make sure that was done for our sisters, our brothers, the children. You see, because when I was a child being abused, nobody knew it. You know why? I was clean. I had all my shots. I wore the finest clothes I couldn't even pronounce the names of these designers. But behind closed doors, I was being beaten within an inch of my life some days with extension cords and things of that nature. And so to the point where when you would come in my house when I became an adult, there was no extension cords, okay? If it couldn't plug into the wall, because I was traumatized by that. And so those things that we take into our adulthood from being child abused, it's important to get to that core. And so that's what we do with Heal and Rebuild. And I always tell my ladies, get therapy as well. I mean, I don't care how much religious you are. I tell people, you can have whomever your creator is, whomever you believe in, and a therapist too. You need the two to go together. You have to learn how to unpack that baggage that you're carrying, that emotional baggage that you're carrying. Because you see, by the time I got to my ex-husband, he didn't even have to do that much. I was so already tore down, broken, self-esteem was on zero. And so I now had to learn how, after leaving him, and even both of my parents are deceased, I had to learn how to forgive them from the grave in order to move on, because they still had that power and control over me. So doing that and going to therapy, I learned how to unpack all that baggage. That was the only way I was going to be able to help others, because guess what? We know that hurt people, right? Hurt and unhealed people hurt people. And so I've been hurt, but I'm healed now, so I don't hurt others. You see what I'm saying? So these were the things that we do. And so we have our courageous conversations with Heal and Rebuild. And that is the part that's my baby right there. That's where we allow people to come in, and it's just that, courageous conversations. No judgment. We're going to talk to you about how to forgive. We're going to talk to you about the baggage that you carry. We're going to talk to you about loving yourself, knowing your value. We're going to talk to you about all those things. And those are the conversations that we have. And they're confidential. They're once a month. Now that we're stuck home, we're doing a little more than once a month. But when we were able to do it in person. And so we take that very seriously, of how confidential it is and how it's a no judgment safe zone. And so now that we've partnered with the police department, the Philadelphia Police Department's community relations department, we have partnered with, as I said, different therapists, nurses, clinicians, all of those people. We partner with them to be able to bring those resources to the ladies, the men, and the children, right? And one of the things that we talk about, this is our tagline, this is our motto: I am no longer a victim. I am more than a survivor. I am a thriver. And that's what I want people to always walk away from Heal and Rebuild, knowing that you are a thriver. You've survived it already. You survived it the first night that you went through that abuse. You survived. When I survived, my father, the police officer, saying that he's going to kill my mother, he's going to kill himself, and he's going to kill me, he's going to create a murder-suicide, I survived that. So I'm no longer a survivor. I am a thriver, and I'm going to help you get to that point. And so, as with all of these ladies here, please get in touch with one of us. We are here to help. I have my website, healandrebuild.com. I have a 800 number for you to call, 800-815-9220. Again, reach out to any of us, and we are here, and we are going to help you get to thriver status. I am my sister's keeper. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for sharing your story. All you ladies have very, very heartwarming, touching stories. And I'm just holding back my tears because some of the stories I can relate to directly as well as indirectly. And I thank you for the associations that you have for men and women to come to as a resource. Next up, we have Miss Altavis. Altavis, you have the mic.
Hello, Altavis. I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. And I want to start with the question: what has your silence cost you? For some, it's their freedom, more revenue, time with family, time for self, peace of mind, joy, laughter. And I ask that question because I went through a process of becoming #unmuted. And for me, it took on a couple different perspectives. For one, I'm an introvert. And so normally I am the one that's at the back of the room. I am the one that is the quietest. I'm at the back of the room because normally that's where we sit so we can get the easy access to the exit. But I had to move to the forefront, and it meant becoming unmuted and telling my story. And so there were some key things that were a part of that I'm going to share with you. But the most important thing was movement and action. Talk is great. Action is so much better. And a lot of times we feel as though we can't act because we're not valuable and our story is not valid. But it is. So in 2015 was the first time I ever told someone that I had been molested as a child. I was 35, and it was in a discussion with my oldest daughter. We were talking about trust, and it kind of blurted it out. It was an emotional discussion. And in that moment, I wished I could have grabbed the words back, but I'm happy that I could not have, because it opened up an opportunity for so many other things. In that moment, I couldn't do anything else but cry. That's significant because that's the title of my first book. And it was in that moment that I decided 2016 is going to be my year. If that's it, you know what? I'm all new year, new me. I'm good. I'm going to make this thing happen. I'm finally going to publish the book that I had been trying to publish for 8 years. I was going to be the forefront of my business and rebrand. And interestingly enough, a lot of you probably had that same discussion in 2019. You had that same heart, that same passion and purpose, and saying, you know what? 2020 is my year. In the same way that 2020 is not looking the same way, you know, that we thought it was going to look on our vision board and in our SMART goals, 2016 did not look the same for me either. December 31st of 2015, I was evicted from my home with my 4 children. Now, how is that, right? 2016 is supposed to be my year. 2016, I'm going to be doing some great things. How am I supposed to do that homeless? So January 1st of 2016, I had a decision to make. Do I take a flight that I already had planned, or do I cancel it and go into my pity party? Now, I won't tell your business. I'll just tell mine. But oftentimes when circumstances did not line up with what I had planned, I would go into that place of, oh, woe was me. Nothing ever goes right. Nothing ever works out for me. It's not supposed to, right? And this year was the first time that I said, you know what? I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to go in spite of. I'm going to take action. I go ahead, my first flight, no problems at all. My layover, I realized that there's no group number on my ticket. Now, I am an introvert and I'm also a creative. So I create stories in my head at the drop of a pen, okay? So in my mind, TSA was about to arrest me because I had a fake ticket and I was going to be in another city, another state. Nobody knew where I was. Well, no, some people knew where I was, but nobody was going to get to me. Like, it was crazy. It like in a matter of seconds. But I went over to the booth and I went ahead and I showed them that there was no group number on my ticket. And they said, you know what? No problem. Just go on group 2. All right, I'll do that. They call group 2. I get up to get in line and they call my name over the loudspeaker. So now I'm looking around to see if TSA is helicoptering down because they're going to arrest me. And I'm like, do I have to make a mad dash? Where's the nearest exit? And I go over to the booth and they hand me a brand new ticket and it's first class. As a sister, as a woman, as an African-American woman, as a single mother, as a divorcee, as a daughter who had to bury her mother. One of the most valuable things I can tell you today is that you need to move. That's the most valuable thing you can do. And sometimes that movement may not be a lot. It doesn't have to be, but you're moving. And that movement is valuable because you never know when your upgrade is coming. And this started a whole bunch of things. It sparked so much because just completing one task will inspire you to go and do the next task. In 2016, I not only published my first book after trying to publish for 8 years, I published 4. In 2016, the first book was published while I was still homeless. Queen, Your voice is needed. Your story is valuable and valid. And it's time for you to become unmuted. The other piece of this, though, is that was just the start. That was the starting point. Since then, I've been able to leave a full-time job, be home with my children. I'm currently enrolled in school to finish my master's in psychology. And that's after leaving a full-time job. I worked for myself full-time. Podcast, I blog, and I'm still the introvert, but I've been on stages all across the US. And then I've also been on stages all across the world virtually. It was that process of becoming #unmuted. It was telling my story. And for you, it may not be standing on a stage. For you, it may not be putting it in a book. But there is a way for you to become #unmuted that will impact someone's life. I can tell you to date that there's been thousands of women that I've come in contact with. Women who are divorcees, who've been homeless, women who have been in domestic violent relationships, going through abuse. And it was that one act of telling my story that was the seed to something greater. So I ask you again, what has your silence cost you? Because your words are a seed. Every time we speak up about the injustice that we received, the abuse, the pain, the fear, we're planting a seed. And I want you to pay close attention to this, because that abuser planted a seed in you. That ex, that parent, that coach, that failed attempt at a business, it planted a seed in you. But we have the power to uproot that seed and plant something new. And it starts with us becoming unmuted. It starts with us sharing our voice. It's valuable. Not only to us, it's valuable to the kingdom. You never know what sister or brother is going to hear that voice and do something amazing. And then I'm going to fast forward to today. I'm still the introvert. I still like being the quietest in the room. But I've done things like been in a book with Dr. George Frazier and Les Brown. I've done things like spoken on stages in front of rooms of 150 people or a room of 2. It's because I see the value. And even this week, I was able to do something amazing. You know that we're in a time right now where our sisters and our brothers are under fire. We're under attack. Our children are under attack. And so because of me becoming unmuted several years ago, I created a platform, which was my podcast. This week, I interviewed 13 influential men, and I'll share out their stories next month. In a time where our men are hurting, I'm able to provide some value. Guess what? For you, it may be another woman that you're going to open up an opportunity for. It may be a child that you open up an opportunity for. But we can't be silent anymore. Sister, your story matters. Can't be silent anymore. Because the longer we are silent, the more others around us are in pain. With that being said, I want you to come join our community. If you go to bit.ly/World Voice Community, it's a free Facebook group, join the conversation. There are always posts, engagements, there's always something going on, and it's a global community for men and women. But it's a safe place to be able to share your voice. Because guess what? You never know who's listening. You never know who needs it. So we have people who go live in the group from all over the world. I think yesterday, one of our young ladies, Julia, went live, and she's in Italy. But you never know, again, the seeds that we're going to plant. So come to our garden. That's what it has become. Definitely a garden with some beautiful flowers and trees, palm trees that have stood the test of time and weathered the storm. I support you. I value you. And even if you're telling your story to one person, believe that that is a seed. And there's from it. So again, join the conversation, bit.ly/World Voice Community. Guys, have an amazing rest of your week.
Altavis has a podcast that is very well known, and I've had the opportunity to meet Altavis. I guess it's been about how many years, Altavis? Since Coach D, when y'all came to Philly, right?
I think that's been at least since 2016, maybe 2017, I think.
Yeah. I met Altavis back in 2017. Wonderful person. Check out our podcast. Check out all of the queens here. They all gave you their information. I'm going to go through it again and let them say how to contact them. Ladies, give your name of your organization, the website link, your social media link where they can contact you, as well as a phone number to contact if they just want to, have a conversation with you. So we'll start with Sharia. Hey, Queen, you gotta unmute your mic. There you go.
Okay, yes. You can reach me. My website is www.buddyspeaks.life. On my website, there's lots of information regarding prevention education. I have body safety rules. I have information regarding the signs of childhood sexual abuse, what it is that you can do. I have articles on my website. And I also have, my number is 484-727-8626. I am on Facebook, Sharia, SHARIEA, Shoatz, SHOATZ, one word. And on Instagram, it's Buddy. The same for Facebook is Buddy Speaks, like back here, BUDDY Speaks. And I also, for my Instagram, is Buddy_Speaks. And my name, Sharia, SHARIEA _Shoatz, SHOATZ. That's for Instagram. And you can also hit me up on my email, breakingthesilence@buddyspeaks.life. And if I may just add one more thing that I forgot to mention, through my, when I decided to break my silence as a parent, as a survivor and a parent of survivors, and my decision to help other parents to protect their children, I too am an author, and I wrote this book entitled My Voice is My Superpower. And this book provides parents with a way to communicate with their children, to have that conversation that they're so afraid to have, so that they can talk about the body safety rules. And I also have this copy of the body safety rules that parents can purchase and have hanging up in their house on a refrigerator door. As you know, as a survivor, Altravis, you know, if you would have seen these, then maybe you would have known, okay, I can tell or I can say something. Because it's not a child's responsibility to protect themselves from being sexually abused. It's parents' responsibility. But this can serve as a safe reminder that your child can know, I am the boss of my body. No, we don't keep secrets. They can know the proper names of their private parts so that if they go to disclose abuse, that they won't say, he touched my cookie or he ate my cookie. They can call it for what it is. And then when it's time to speak about sexual abuse prevention, they're not afraid and they're not uncomfortable. And the safety circle, which is a group of 5 or more people that your child can come to if they don't feel safe coming to you, just like you, Michelle, who you were being abused by your own parent. If you had a safety circle or prevention team, you could have went and told someone else that knows how to protect you. So these are the things that I do with my foundation, and I provide a safe space for parents to come to talk and say, well, I think this happened, or my child did disclose abuse, or a parent that didn't disclose their abuse until 30 years later, just so they won't be alone and feel alone like I did. I know I was only supposed to give my my information for people to reach out to me. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Book and your guide for children, can that be purchased on your website?
It can be purchased on my website, or you can just cash at me. It's for the book, it's $17.99, and that includes shipping and handling. And you also receive a free coloring page for the children because this is an icon. And same here. And the cash app is Buddy Speaks as well. And I'll ship it right out to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sharaya.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good information, Queen.
So here, so again, for me, it begins with a conversation. So you can go again to bit.ly/talk with Thea. My foundation, I'm the founder of Life After Domestic Violence, where I assist victims to get to safety as well as survivors, because the mindset has to change. And so there are programming and there's different things and avenues and trainings that I deal with survivors. I'm also helping the advocate. That's a whole different subject, but I have something for every level or journey, for the victim who's become a survivor and for the survivor who wants to advocate. And so again, if you go to bit.ly/talk with Thea to have that open conversation, I'm also going to give you bit.ly/one more freed. There you can find, there's too much to list here. I am an author of 8, amazing, that still blows my mind, 8 books, 8 publications. All of that is at bit.ly/one more freed. You can also sign up for the podcast. There's so many other things that have come from my journey from being abused in a 30-year abusive relationship to where I am now, assisting victims, survivors, and advocates. This is amazing. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity because I know the viewing audience, there's something for someone right here. And I just want to say, please do not be shy about reaching any one of these sisters in order for you to move to your next level. Don't stay stuck in abuse. Don't stay stuck in your mindset about, oh, what was me? Don't stay stuck thinking that you cannot become an author. We just heard from someone who was homeless and was an author. We just heard from somebody who has published a book, a child's book, for publication for the child and the parent. We've just heard from Michelle, who's given her testimony about from where she was to where she is now. Please, if you don't do anything, just gain strength from the ladies that are here on this panel. We are our sister's keeper. Thank you.
You're welcome, Thea. Michelle, give up your information, sister. Give it up.
Oh, all right. So, okay. I forgot to talk about my book as well, but it is called Pieces of Me, and all of the pieces, it's a piece of puzzle pieces. And they're all put back together by the end of the book. Each chapter has a piece missing, something out of it. Okay, so you can get that on my website, www.healandrebuild.com. So spelled out, healandrebuild.com. You can reach me on Facebook, and that's Heal the and sign Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit Inc. That's on Facebook. On Instagram, we are just Heal and Rebuild. And then also I gave you my 800 number for the organization, but what I want to give you right now is we have our own domestic violence hotline number, and it's called the Purple Rose. And so I'm going to give you that number, because if it's something that you need to do to talk to someone with domestic violence, that's 1-800-607-0180. And that's the Purple Rose. We have someone there ready to talk with you, pray with you. You may just want to talk to someone that may not really be ready to leave yet. That person is going to help you through your safety planning, because we know that is very important, especially during this time. So again, if you go on my website, you'll see my book, I Am Like You, The Introvert. First of all, this whole platform, being here today, I'm like, ready to fall out my chair, but I know that these are things that we have to do. But being an introvert, we tend to keep things inside of us. But again, yes, what has that silence cost us? So I thank you so very much. I thank all of you ladies. I'm just honored to be here with all of you. And to anyone listening to this program, please reach out to someone. It is very important. Don't be ashamed. Don't worry about blaming anything. We are here to help you, and we love you.
Thank you, Michelle. We're back at Podcast Woman. Out to Veeks.
Hey.
Hey, woman. How you
doing? Doing good. I definitely want you guys to come and join us in the free Facebook community, bit.ly/World Voice Community. And the first book is It's Okay to Cry. So definitely, if you would love to get a copy of this, I'll send out signed copies. Just send me a message when you come into the community. You can post it right there in the group, and I'll make sure that we connect so that way I can send you a signed copy. And for those of you who are getting a copy today, I'll actually send you both of my first two books, which were the first two books that I published that first year in 2016 while both still homeless, that part. But it's definitely something to help you. The It's Okay to Cry was the process I went through after finding out that my girls had been molested, and what it meant for me to travel from, Philadelphia to Maryland, that whole transition and everything that we endured. And then Define Your Voice was that starting point for how I was able to get to where I am now. People say, they look at me and they're like, you're not an introvert. There's no way. No, I put in some work to get to this point. But guess what? That means that whatever your story is, whatever it is that you need to be telling the world, there's a way for you to do it. And I definitely love helping women to be able to find whatever platform is going to work best for them, so that way they can get that story out there and in front of the audience that needs it most. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on here and having me be a part of this. It was really great.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate the time that you have given in and sharing your story, because your stories is going to touch somebody somewhere. And when this is over, this is going to be programmed up on the JBLTV Network, where it has access to 95 million viewers. So your story is going to be shared, and it's going to be shared on a network where it can reach the most people other than just on social media. So this is being taken outside of social media and put on national television so people can hear your stories. And we next have up our host, Miss Jacqueline Levy. Jacqueline, take as much time as you want. You're the host. I'm just the narrator.
No, ma'am. Time has been well spent here. And I said dynamic ladies, but I left something off. These courageous, dynamic ladies. And I am an introvert myself, but when the universe calls you into your purpose, I'm going to get better and better as time goes on. So once again, I want to thank you, ladies. And last but not least, in being our sisters' keepers, ladies, we have to be more vigilant. That's why this platform was started, because sometimes we see that child not clean at school, hungry, not having supplies. We don't know what's going on in the home. The parent could be abused, the child could be abused, the child could be sexually abused, the mother could be being abused. So let's be a little vigilant, guys. And like I said, if you need any help, if you have a special needs child, go to www.yourparentadvocate.com or follow me on social media sites, Facebook or Instagram. I am my sister. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Your Parent Advocate. I'm sorry, Your Parent Advocate. I am my sister's keeper. Thanks to you guys again. You all did an amazing job. It was so compelling, and I'm just at a loss for words. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you all. Thank you, audience. Have a great day. I love you all. Peace. Peace and love.
Ladies, I will see y'all on the next one. Take care, stay safe, and thank you so much for coming to the I Am My Sisters platform. And we look to doing other business with you as well. Take care, everybody. Have a blessed day.